Good morning, my dear children. Today we'll be doing from the environment looking around textbook for fourth standard. This is your lesson number 4, chapter 4, the story of Amrita. Dear children, when I explain the story, everybody will please watch the video to understand the story because it is very much relevant today also. The story, if we understand, today also we need the trees. It is all about the planting of trees and preserving them also, because without plants, I think animals, human beings, or any organisms cannot survive. So before we start our story, today everybody will write here first today's date and classwork. Then you will start your work 09/09/2020, and this is your CW. So this is the story of a little girl, Amrita, and later all the people of the community, of that community, which today also in the state of Rajasthan are very much famous for the love for the trees, or we can say for the love to preserve the environment. So dear children, you can see these lovely pictures of the desert areas. Now what is this is the story about the story of Amrita was a little girl, and what she did, and ultimately at the end of the lesson we'll come to know that she even gave up her life to preserve, to save the trees. So first we'll read a little bit out of it and then I'll explain. This is a story from long, long ago, Jodhpur in Rajasthan, located in Rajasthan. Near it lies a village called Khejari. Why is the village called Khejari? The village got the name because many Khejari trees were grown here. The people of the village took great care of the plants, trees, and animals. They used to say, if trees are there, then only we can survive. Now this is the very important statement that is given by those people of living of that community who still live in the Rajasthan. Now first I would like everybody to underline this line, because this line still holds the importance till date, and I think till the earth is there, till we people are there, this statement will hold good forever. Now, this is the story of Amrita, as I said, a little girl who lived in the Jodhpur. Now, where is Jodhpur? Jodhpur is located in Rajasthan, or in the state of Rajasthan. As we people live in the state of Gujarat, our state is called as Gujarat. The same way, Amrita lived in the state which is known as Rajasthan. Now, you all might have, many of you might have gone to Rajasthan also. So Rajasthan is a desert region. So in desert region very few trees grow, because there is the very less water, or there's a scarcity of water in the desert region. मतलब desert region जो रेगिस्तान होता है, जहाँ रेती ही रेती ज़्यादा होती है, वहाँ पानी की बहुत कमी होती है. और पानी की जब कमी होती है, then because of the scarcity of water, only very few type of plants grow there, which need very little water to grow and to survive. So this village was known as Khejari. Why this village was known as Khejari, where the Amrita lives? Because there were many trees. Khejari trees were grown in that village only. So people of that village were the village in which Amrita lived was known by the name of the tree, that is Khejari. Now see, in the olden times people always used to say, if trees are not there, or then we won't be able to survive. That means trees are very important part for our survival also, for even human beings, animals, birds, all the living organisms. जितने भी लिविंग ऑर्गेनिजम्स हैं, हम ह्यूमन बींग्स हैं, एनिमल्स हैं, बर्ड्स हैं, बिना ट्रीज के कोई भी सर्वाइव नहीं कर सकता. क्योंकि एनिमल्स है तो उनको भी, जैसे फॉरेस्ट है, ट्रीज कहाँ पर ज़्यादा मिलते हैं, दे वी कैन सी मेनी lot more trees in the forest. But if forests are only not there, then what will happen? Animals will not get place to live. The birds cannot build their nest, because birds build their nest on the trees. And one more thing is there, that we get many things from the trees. We get wood, we get food to eat, trees give us shade, flowers, fruits, medicines. So lot many things we get from the trees, and the trees are shelter for animals and birds also. So the people of the village were known as this village was known by the name of the tree called khejari, because the that khejari tree used to grow there. When why it used to grow there? Because this tree needs very little water to grow, and in the desert region only those plants can survive which need a little water to grow. And this tree was very helpful to all the people of that area where they were living there, because the trunk of the tree, the bark of the tree was used as medicine. Then secondly, the fruits or the in the form of the beans, that was also eaten by human beings as well as animals. The leaves of the trees were eaten by the animals, and the bark was such that it can none of the insects can सर्वाइव ऑन दैट मीन्स जैसे कि पेड़ में होता है कभी कभी हम पौधे लगाते हैं, अपने गमलों में पौधे लगाए होंगे पॉट्स के अंदर, तो जब आप पौधे लगाते हैं तो देखते हैं कि कभी कभी पौधों में छोटे छोटे कीड़े दिखते हैं। तो इस पेड़ का बार्क ऐसा था कि इसमें कोई भी तरह का इंसेक्ट जो है असर नहीं कर सकता था। सो इट कैन सर्वाइव इन ऑल द कंडीशंस, मीन्स उसमें कीड़े नहीं लगते थे, कम पानी में होता था, और ईच एंड एवरी पार्ट ऑफ द प्लांट वॉज यूटिलाइज्ड बाय द पीपल ऑफ दैट विलेज। सो अमृता ने जो है इन पेड़ों को ही अपना फ्रेंड बनाया। नाउ नेक्स्ट इज अमृता's फ्रेंड्स। नाउ अमृता would get up early every morning and greet her friends, the trees. अब अमृता के फ्रेंड्स कौन थे? एवरी मॉर्निंग what would happen? Amrita would get up early and go out and greet her friends. And who were their friends? Her friends were the trees. The trees were her friends. She would choose a special tree for the day and put her arms around the trunk and whisper. Now every day, because there were so many trees, every day what would Amrita do? Amrita would choose one tree for a day as her friend for that day, and that what she used to do, she used to put her arms around that tree, or she used to hug that tree daily, and then she used to whisper. What is the meaning of whisper? Means saying something very slowly and softly into the trees. And what she would say? Friend, you are strong and beautiful. What she would say? She would always say that the friends, you are strong and beautiful, you care for us, I love you very much, make me also like you. What she used to tell? She always used to hug the tree daily in the morning, and she used to tell friends, you are very strong. That means you always have seen the trees are group, the big trees are very strong and beautiful, so you take care of me, the trees take care of us, so I love you very much and make me also like you. That means as you help me or you take care of me, I would also, when I grow up, I should also become like you, so that I can take care of others. So this is what Amrita daily, she used to go and pick one tree for a day, and she used to hug her and whisper in the ears of the trees, or she used to talk with the trees. That much was of love was there for Amrita for the trees. Now you can see this lovely picture of the children playing under the shade of the tree. Like Amrita, other children also had their special trees. They would play for hours in the shade of the trees. Now other children of the villages also, they used to pick one tree for the day, they used to hug it, and they used to talk with the tree. And then all the children used to play under the shade of the khejari trees. Now dear children, there are certain questions that right now we are not going to do. We will do it later on. I'll continue with the story. So you see one part from this much part of the lesson, we have understood that trees are very important for our survival. Without trees we cannot survive, because see, it's a chain that animals, human beings, birds, each and every, and the trees, each and everyone is dependent on each other. Animals plants के ऊपर डिपेंड करते हैं, हम भी plants के ऊपर अपने फूड के लिए डिपेंड करते हैं. birds है वो अपना नेस्ट बनाते हैं trees पे. we get wood, we get medicine, we get fruits, we get flowers. So many things we get from the trees. Our trees है because trees helps to bring the rain also. जो बारिश आती है अगर trees होंगे तो बारिश अच्छी आएगी. बहुत ज़्यादा बारिश होती है तो भी क्या होता है, जो जो soil that goes away in the water, the tree stops that soil erosion also. So in many ways, and the very important thing is that we get oxygen from the trees. Without oxygen we cannot survive, and that is only this oxygen we get only from the trees. The trees take the carbon dioxide, जो हम सांस छोड़ते हैं वो उसमें कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड बाहर निकलता है, and that is absorbed by the trees. वो सब जो क्या है वो ट्री सब एब्जॉर्ब कर लेती है और हमको क्या देती है, हमको ऑक्सीजन देती है बदले में. सो विच इज़ अ very important for our life. Without oxygen and neither animals can survive, neither birds can survive, nor human beings can survive. So आज भी हमको ये सीखना चाहिए कि वी शुड प्लांट मोर एंड मोर ट्रीज सो दैट आवर एनवायरमेंट बिकम्स क्लीन, मोर फ्रेश, लेस pollution is there because trees absorb lot of pollution. So if the trees are there, then pollution will be less, our environment will be better for us to live. Now, tree in danger. Now you can see this lovely picture of you can see certain people here standing with the axe in their hand, and one person is ordering. This is the palace of the king, and I think this is the king who is ordering them to do certain things. Now, trees in danger. Time went by. Amrita was now grown up. One day she went to greet her trees. She saw some strangers there. They had axes with them. They said that the king had sent them to cut the tree for wood. The wood was needed for building the king's palace. Now, after some times, after a few years, Amrita also grew up and she was in the same village only. But one day, as per her daily routine, she used to get up early and she used to wish her friends the trees. The same way she was going to wish her trees in the morning after getting up. What did she see? She saw that few people had come to her village. They were strangers. Nobody knew them who were that person, and they had axes in their hand. You can see this is the axes जिसको हम कुहाड़ी बोलते हैं पेड़ काटने के लिए. And they had axes in their hand and they told that they were the king's men. वो कौन थे? वो राजा के भेजे हुए आदमी थे. And the king had sent them to cut the trees because king was knowing that there are trees over there. So king had sent those men to cut the trees because the king needed wood to build the palace. हमको घर बनाने में लकड़ी की ज़रूरत पड़ती है. वो कहाँ से मिलती है? That we get from the trees. The paper that we use for writing in the books, etc., that also we get from the wood. That is why it is always told, dear children, the pencil that you use, it is made from wood. That is why always the teachers tell you that don't tear the pages, use the pencil up to your last, because it is made out of wood, and wood we get from the trees only. So if we will misuse it, or if we'll use it roughly, then what will happen? Then we will need more of those things and we will have to cut more trees, which is harmful for our environment. So the king had said those men to cut the trees because he needed wood to build his palace. Now page number 28. Amrita was shocked. She went to the tree that the man was about to cut. She put her arms around the tree and hugged it tightly. The men shouted and threatened her, but Amrita did not let go the tree. The king's men had to follow his order. They had to cut the tree. On seeing this, Amrita's daughter and hundreds of villagers, old and young, hugged the tree to protect them. Many people, including Amrita and her daughter, died in saving the trees. Now what happened, dear children? One day when Amrita, as I told you that she got up and she went, there were some strangers in the villages the king had sent. Now you can see it. So the king, the men told that they had to cut the tree because it was king's order. So Amrita was literally shocked that how can anybody tell to cut the tree, because the trees were so close to their heart that they can't think of hurting their tree also, and those men had come to cut the trees. So Amrita was literally very much shocked. So what did she do? She hugged the tree tightly. As you can see in this picture, she is hugging the tree tightly so that men will not cut the tree. But those men had to follow the orders of the king. So what did they do? They cut the tree, and in between, to save the trees, many of the hundreds of villagers who were living there and the children all went there, and they hugged each and every tree so that those people won't cut it. But that doesn't happen. The people, or the king's men who had come to cut the tree, they had cut the tree, and in saving the trees, Amrita and her daughter and many of the villagers lost their lives. That means many people died while saving the trees. So it was, see, that is that much love you should have for the trees. When you are growing, you should have for your environment in which you are living, because if you will save the environment, then only you can survive in a much better way than we are now. And as such, day by day our environment is getting bad and bad and bad, and lot of pollution is increasing day by day, and we are the people who are increasing the pollution, because we every now and then we use the vehicles whether it is needed or not needed. We cut the trees for our own use, because we want industries to be set up, or we want big malls to be set up, high rise buildings are to be made. So for all these purposes we cut the trees, because we want land. So in that development, in making our own development, we are destroying our environment. And if we will destroy our environment, our survival is very, very difficult. So many people of the villagers who all loved the trees lost their lives. When the king heard about this, he would not believe that people gave up their life for the trees. He visited the villagers himself. There he saw the deep feeling of the villagers towards trees and animals. Do you remember what did the elders of this village used to say? Do you think we could survive if there were no trees or animals? Now see, uh, when the king heard about the whole story, that the people of that village gave their life for the to save the trees, and then the king also visited the village. Then he thought that, oh, such type of people also live here, that they love so much animals and trees that they laid their lives for that. So he also visited the villages, and he saw that, so they had a deep rooted feeling inside their heart to save the trees and the animals over there. And the animals used to roam freely. They were not afraid of anyone. Neither the people were afraid of animals, nor the animals were afraid of the people. So it was a very nice, friendly environment of the village. Means depending on each other and caring for each other also. We care for the animals and trees, and they in turn care for us, and they also give us. So the king was very happy also to see that. So what did the villagers, elders of the village said? That if there are no trees, we cannot survive. So now, do you think that we would survive if there were no trees and animals? Discuss this in your class. Yes, without trees, we will never be able to survive, or our environment will not be that we can live for a few more years also. Now, the village is protected. This is the last part of the explanation. The villagers' strong feeling for the trees affected the king greatly. He ordered there from there on that there no trees would be cut and animals would be harmed in that area. Even today, almost 300 years past, the people of the area called Bishnois continue to protect plants and animals, even though in the middle of the desert the area is green and animals roam about freely and without any fear. Now you can see this village is still protected. When the king heard this, king came and visited the village. From then he, what did he do? he said, yes, I am not, from now onwards the people, nobody is going to cut the tree in this area, neither we are going to hurt any animal or harm any animals. Now this story is almost 300 years ago, means 300 years back this had happened. And from till date, from 300 years to till date, the people still, आज आज के तारीख में भी लोग जो हैं वो ट्रीज़ को प्रोटेक्ट करते हैं, ट्रीज़ का ध्यान रखते हैं, and even they care for the animals and see that none of the animals get hurt. And these people, the community which took so much care of the environment, are called as Bishnois. And still in Rajasthan today we have the Bishnoi community, which is very famous today also for protecting the environment. If you go to that area in the desert, as you know, desert is a area where you can see only sand and sand and nothing else. Hardly you can see the water or the trees in some of the areas. But this area in the middle of the desert, you can see the area is also green, and animals also roam about freely without any fear, because they know that these people are not going to harm us, they are going to protect us. If any outside invasion is going to come, or if anybody is going to come and harm us, these people are going to protect us. So till today also, all the people, Bishnoi community today also protect their environment and love the trees as their souls. उनके आत्मा में बसी हुई है ये पेड़ पौधे और ये एनवायरनमेंट. इसीलिए आज भी उनके जैसे लोगों के वजह से आज भी जो हमारे अर्थ पे इतना सब कुछ होता है, उसके बावजूद भी हम आराम से रह सकते हैं. वी कैन सर्वाइव. इट्स बिकॉज ऑफ द पीपल एंड द कम्युनिटीज लाइक दिस हु टेक केयर ऑफ आवर environment. So dear children, from this lesson we have learnt a moral that we should save our environment, and if trees are not around our houses or our schools or gardens or anywhere, so if we can wish, we can plant also certain trees. So dear children, learn to plant a tree and take care of the tree. Okay, dear children, I hope you all have understood the importance of trees in our lives, as well as the importance of animals and birds also in our life. So this explanation is over. The remaining part we will do in the next video. Till then, bye bye and have a nice day.